Alright, so to begin, here's a few things that I really love about the Maserati. So the first thing is, having a true engine sound. It's really hard, in today's life, to find a car with a very lovely, manly engine sound. So to begin, let's go ahead and start this baby right here. So this is the sound I'm talking about. And when you change that from regular mode to sport mode, then you have this toughness that's going on right now. And here's another few things that I really enjoy about the Maserati. So the design is very simple. It's not too complicated. Everything looks pretty well connected together. So you don't have those radio where you have a gazillion buttons where you have to navigate through. Your AC functions are very simple. And your gear are very simple, so not too many things to get you out of line. And the other cool thing that they've included in there is this glove compartment here where you can put your drink in there and have the opportunity to press a little button in there to get your AC, to get your drink cool off. This little on and off button over here. Alright, so the next thing that I enjoy about the Maserati is its bold look. Right now I'm in my garage shooting this video. As you can see, my car's a little dirty, but once you see this car clean, you really gonna want to drive a car like this because it just makes you feel so much better. And people who haven't really seen a Maserati, gonna love it. And it's a pretty expensive car too, though, to be honest. So that's another thing about it. And you got those engine exhausts over here. You got two of them, on each side. And that's another cool thing that makes this car great and powerful. The details about the car and all that stuff. Alright, so the next thing about the Maserati that I enjoy, it's one thing that I have been looking in cars for a very long time. So for those of you who have children, so they have this locking handle for the children chair, which easy access pretty much, that it's not so difficult for you to set it up versus cars that are built now. It's a little bit more hidden, which you don't want that. So you don't want it to take you 60 days trying to hook up your child's chair inside of your vehicle. And the way they set it up makes it really simple for you to use it. And the other thing about the Maserati that makes me feel good about purchasing it is the fact that even though the car looks very small inside, you actually have a lot of space as far as leg room concerned. Alright, so the next thing about the Maserati is the fact that the driving range is far greater than the driving range in the Tesla. So even though the new Tesla with a 100 kilowatt battery, that you can potentially go about 315 miles, but sometimes you gotta judge the distance, as far as the temperature, the weather during that day, and what you carrying in the vehicle, as well as how far you driving. All these things plays a role in the distance you can drive in a Tesla. But for the Maserati, so as you can see here right now, it says that I can only go about 276 miles, but that range varies based on my driving. So if I am continuously driving in sport mode, most likely that this is how far it's gonna take me. But if I take it from regular sport mode to ice, which is the increased control efficiency for the Maserati, it'll take me even farther than that. Because I remember last time I did a segment about the Maserati, how far you can drive on a full tank. I actually drove from Jacksonville, Florida, all the way to Homestead, Miami on a full tank of fuel, driving my Maserati. All right, so the next cool thing about the Maserati that I really enjoy is having an engine, like a true bold engine, that will take the car, from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, which is not a big deal, obviously, but 5.5 seconds, from 0 to 60 is pretty fast to me. Unless you like car crazy, you're gonna want to go even faster than that. But then again, there's a difference between quick and fast. So I will let you judge that for yourself. The next great thing about the Maserati that I really enjoy is the fact that the engine is probably the loudest thing in the car. And if you imagine a Maserati without an engine, with just battery operated Maserati, this car will be by far the quietest car ever. Because I've actually went in the trunk and look at the insulation that they actually use in the vehicle. This is by far the best insulation material ever, that kind of like dampening the sound of the engine from the outside. So that way you can only hear so much of it. It's not too loud and it's not too boring. And you are actually reducing the outside noise in the vehicle as well. All right, so now that we're done talking about the Maserati, so we're now switching over to the Tesla over here. This one's a very simple Tesla, which is a Model S, 60 kilowatt. It's not the greatest and baddest vehicle that they have out there, but this is, one of the one that we are gonna comparing the Maserati with. As you can see, the design of the Tesla is very simple, but it's kind of like, tuning you down a little bit. It makes you feel like, okay, so I'm driving a very high class car, but I don't really feel that great. Just the fact that the exterior of the vehicle doesn't look that nice. So if you were to ask me, comparing the look of a Tesla versus the look of a Maserati, you'll see the difference, just like that. It's not that hard for you to notice that the look of a Maserati looks much tougher than the look of a Tesla. Now we're gonna go ahead and get inside and talk about some of the good features about the Tesla that we enjoy. The greatest thing and baddest thing that everybody looking forward to is being able to walk toward the car and your door handle just come out. And that is a very neat feature that Tesla just came out with. And I don't think anybody else has this out there right now. And it makes the car so genuine and so different, just the fact that it adjusts to your motion as you walk into it. So one of the things you might notice in a Tesla is the big screen that you have in the vehicle, that as soon as you walk in, so this is the first thing that caught your attention, and it just make you feel like, wow, I am driving a car with a great iPhone system in it. And how cool is that? Alright, so granted the fact that this Tesla doesn't have all the latest and greatest system in it, but the biggest thing that makes this car different when you look at the console system in a Tesla versus a Maserati is that you are able to see your current locations live, and as well as looking at the path where you're going using the navigation. And not only that, you have access to internet radio, not satellite radio. You can choose to browse satellite radio if you want to, but having the capability to be able to browse the internet to look for your favorite song is the most important thing. And I think a lot of people will vouch for that, the fact that they are able to do that. The only difference is that in the Maserati, the only thing that you could use to get outside song is by using either the Wi-Fi system that they have in the vehicle to connect your phone on, to be able to either streaming music from Google or any other streaming services out there, or you can use your own personal phone internet to stream music at that point if you don't have the Wi-Fi capability in the Maserati. Anyway, so I don't want anybody to get offended about this review. This is my personal view of the difference between the Maserati and the Tesla. Although there may be very different, a lot of different things that people would consider when thinking of okay having a Maserati and a Tesla at the same time. But to me, there are certain things between those two vehicles drives me. So the Tesla is really well known for being the first electric vehicle uh, car that is able to drive farther than any electric vehicle that ever been built in the past. And on top of that, this console is like the main selling point of the Tesla right here. And as well as the fact that the car can speed up from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds if you have the upgraded battery system in it. And even with the 60 kilowatt, you are able to go as fast, pretty much. Then the other thing is the fact that you are able to browse the internet if you're at home, or if you are on the go, you want to check out the web, you can do so as well. And but sometimes you might notice some lag, the fact that the internet may not be loading as fast as it should, but that depends on your locations and what internet signal that you're currently using. But for this purpose, I am using my home Wi-Fi, which is from AT&T. It is a little bit slow because we are using it, streaming it from the garage right now. But if I were to switch it from the Wi-Fi to 3G signal, it would be a little bit faster, but it will take me longer to get the picture populated, just like you see on this one over here, just by loading the weather channel. The other thing about the Tesla that everyone loves is the openness. The fact that you can navigate your way through the car without any restriction. You have plenty of room to shift, jitter or do whatever you want. And the other thing is that you have this all glass panoramic roof that you can see outside in broad daylight. And the only cool thing about it is that the fact that even if it's super hot outside, you can barely feel the sunlight just hitting you inside of the car. Granting the fact that this is an actual all glass roof in the car. All right, so the other thing about the Tesla that I like is the fact that you have tremendous amount of space in the trunk as well as the front of the vehicle, so you can put as many things as you like. Granted, it may not be beneficial for you to overload your car because it might not take you as far as you really want to go, because the more weight you add to the car, so the more battery it's gonna burn, and you don't want that. So but you do have ample amount of space to put your luggage if you are going on a very far travel or just going on a vacation for any reason or whatnot. And the other cool thing is that you are able to adjust the height of the tailgate of the vehicle just by simply just pulling it down, adjust it to the height that you want. Then you just press the button, then it'll just automatically memorize that specific height. So the next time you open it, it's just gonna stop right there. And if you do choose to readjust it again, it's just gonna go. You can move it either higher or lower that you want, to set it up that way. So to conclude this personal review about those two vehicles, the Tesla and the Maserati, here's what I would say. I would never probably change my Maserati to a Tesla just because that it's an ongoing process. Tesla has been trying as hard as they can to go ahead and trying to increase the distance that you can go on a full charge with your Tesla, but with some time that estimate do change based on what you're carrying in the car, and the weather plays a big role on how far you can go on a full charge for a Tesla. And the Maserati, on the other hand, it already tells you how far he can go. So you can, you have between like 19 miles in the city and 24 miles per gallon on the highway. Sometimes that do change based on, driving patterns or the traffic while you're on the highway. But like I explained before, on a full tank of fuel, you are able to go about as far as 400 miles on a Maserati non-stop. And then if you do have to make stop along the way, it's only going to be one stop, and you get some fuel that only takes you about 5 or 10 minutes to do, versus the Tesla, to get some charge at a supercharger will take you at least 20 minutes if you're trying to go another 100 miles. So that's the only thing about it. These are some other things that everyone should consider when buying a Tesla. Tesla is a very great vehicle for people who are driving in the city all the time, want to save money on fuel. But when you're looking at going far from, you know, one city to another, which is the difference of maybe 200-300 miles, you're gonna want to have a gas vehicle for that. Because if you don't have a gas vehicle, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get stuck. And if you do get stuck, you have to rely on the roadside assistance, to be able to come out and get you out of there if you do run out of charge. And the thing about the Maserati, which is a fuel vehicle, you probably won't have to worry about that, because every other, exit on the highway or in the city is a gas station. So maybe if Tesla increase the charging facility, the supercharging facility that they have, as well as keep upgrading their battery packages to be able to go at least 500 miles, and at that point you should be able to swap your Maserati to a Tesla. So that way it's going to be much more convenient for you to have a Tesla, because you're saving a lot of money on fuel. But the other thing is, you might not be saving a lot of money on the cost of the car, because it's going to cost you a whole lot of money to buy a Tesla that you can drive from 300 to 500 miles on a full charge, fully loaded, and all weather conditions, regardless of your location, if you're going up the mountain, down the mountain, or just straight flat area. So this is the other thing that you should think about: the cost of buying a Tesla versus the cost of buying a Maserati at the same time. But anyway, so these are some of the features that bothers me a lot, even though I do have a Tesla, but I have it because I wanted to drive it in the city. The last time I drove my Tesla to St. Augustine, Florida, I got stuck over there. And it's just in the middle of nowhere. It's a good thing I carry my portable charger with me. That's why I was able to get some charge to avoid being stuck in the middle of nowhere. But if I had drive my Maserati, there's no way I could have been stuck in the middle of nowhere, because there would be a gas station nearby that I can stop to get some fuel. So in all honesty, thinking about switching your Maserati to a Tesla is a big jump. Those two are some very luxurious vehicle, but at the same time, you want to consider the good and the bad. The technology in both of them are very nice, even though Tesla tend to have more technology than any car ever built. But at the same time, cost efficiency is the most important thing, and being able to rely on your vehicle, that's another important thing, because I love my Tesla, but at the same time, I can't rely on it. If I'm going very far, it's raining a lot, I know the battery's gonna drain really fast. But with my Maserati, if I'm going very far, it's raining like crazy, it just make it even more fun. That way I can just get my engine out there, put it on sport mode, and get this baby just making a lot of noise, so that way people know that I'm around. Versus with the Tesla, you can't really do that, technically speaking. But in conclusion, both of them are two nice vehicles. And if you are planning on buying a Maserati or Tesla, whatever model that you're looking for, or whatever battery package you're looking for in a Tesla, or whatever upgrade you're looking for in a Maserati, good luck with that. But do think about how far you're going to be able to go if you were to put all your family in your Tesla and luggages and everything. And how many stops would you have to do in order to go from point A to point B? And the same thing for a Maserati. How much space do you have to put your luggages if you were to put all of your family in there to go from point A to point B, and how many stops you were going to do? But each of them has some compromises, and each of them has some goodness about them. So you just have to pick whichever one works for you. This is D, and I'm checking out.